It was the autumn of 2025 when I stumbled upon this beast at the Hangdao Hay Market. This pile of scrap leftover weighed in at exactly 246 jin, 123 kilograms. The owner wanted 58.6 a kilo for it, so I hauled it back on my trike. Judging by what's left of the wreckage, this used to be a sport bike, but man, it's seen better days. The front fairing is smashed to bits, the handlebars are snapped clean off, and the instrument cluster, along with the fluid reservoir, is completely toast. I'm not even sure if I can source a replacement cluster for this. The rear subframe is snapped, and the rear wheel is knocked completely out of alignment. It's brutal. Even the foot peg is bent into a hook. I can only wonder if the rider's foot made it out okay. There's a gaping hole in the bottom of the engine, but surprisingly, the top end looks intact. If that's the case, we might have seriously scored here. Plus, check this out. The exhaust is titanium. So get your gloves on, let's figure out how to get this engine turning. It says 998cc right here. This is a liter class engine, which means this machine was definitely not your average ride. As I strip off the damaged bodywork, it looks like something made a home in the tank area. I'm not sure if it's a full-on nest, but it's full of shells and debris. And look at this, the wiring is chewed right down to the copper. That little thief was nasty. The rear wiring harness is a total mess too. Fixing this is going to be a headache. The impact force must have been massive to expose all 4 exhaust headers like this. However, this side of the engine is pristine, with no damage, and the oil sight glass is clear. Looks like it's time to use some of my old tricks. I'm removing this smashed side cover to inspect the internals. Aside from this stray twig, everything looks good inside. The cover was jammed, but I grabbed a wrench to crank the engine manually and it turns over fine. I get the feeling the internals don't have any major issues, despite the rat nest. I really want to save this engine, but first I need to check the cylinder compression to see if it's even worth the effort.
Whoa, that wire just shorted out, scared the hell out of me. But hey, the engine still cranks over a little bit. I think it's time we sort out this rat's nest of wiring. You know, from my experience with these wrecked bikes, as long as the engine isn't seized up, I can always MacGyver some way to get it running. I'm just gonna color match these wires and splice them back together. Now, the bike didn't come with a key, but dealing with these old-school mechanical locks is a piece of cake for me. I can practically pick them in my sleep. I'll just cut a new key using the cylinder code and it should pop right open. Next step, I'll hook up an external power source. I'm gonna try and start it up to check if we have spark and to see how the compression looks. Wish me luck!
Nah, something's not right. You know what? Let's just tear the whole thing down. It's not playing by the rules. It started acting up before I could even get a compression reading. Since that's the case, I might as well do a full engine teardown. Here's the deal. If the engine's good, we'll restore it to factory specs. But if the engine is toast, we'll just sell it for scrap, split the cash, and call it a day. Look at this massive rear wheel. It looks like it was shoved right into the frame on impact. It really makes you wonder if the rider ever made it home for dinner that night.
All right, the engine is completely out, and it looks like a wreck. I've stripped the bike down to the frame, but man, there is debris everywhere. I need to clean this mess up first. Once I've cleared the floor, let's tackle the wiring again. Up here by the frame, the rats really went to town. Some wires have exposed copper, and we've got loose connections all over the place. It's pretty gnarly. This is turning into a huge headache. They say magic doesn't exist, but this mess is unbelievable. But hey, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. I'm hooking it up to the external battery again. Okay, no short circuits this time. I'm checking the spark plug lead, and boom, we've got spark. Now for the compression test. We're getting 7 bars, approx 100 psi. It's not perfect, but it's enough to run. So the engine meets the baseline requirements to be a runner. Now that we know it works, we can fix that jammed side cover. Friendly reminder, put your sunglasses on. Of course, that warning might be a little late, so don't blame me if you're seeing spots. Fresh oil is in, and the IV bottle is hooked up. She's all set for a test run. Here goes nothing. You've got to be kidding me. What a pain in the ass. I literally just sorted this out, and it's already leaking like a sieve. I'm starting to think this bike has got some serious bad juju. I know this bike has a dark history, but come on, it shouldn't be acting this crazy. Get this damn tank out of my way. Turns out, that spray earlier was just gasoline, not engine oil, and it didn't stop the engine from firing right back up. So the motor itself is actually solid. Now that we're sure of that, I'm bringing out the dry ice blaster. It's time to strip off every last bit of this grime and corruption. Frame cleaned. Now let's tackle the tank. God knows how many layers of paint are caked onto this thing. I'm hitting it with the heat gun and scraping it off inch by inch. Look at this confetti. Red, blue, black, but sorry, none of your favorite green. I better have scraped off nearly a pound of paint chips here. Now for this massive dent. I'm using a slide hammer to pull out the general shape, then hammering it out from the inside. Finally, I'll use the precision puller to finesse the details until the tank is perfectly straight and true. Then it's the standard routine. Epoxy primer for rust protection, followed by a metallic base coat, and finally a high-temp bake to cure it. As for the wheels, the rear one was totaled. The front rim is salvageable, but the tire is trash. Since I can't order new parts for this bike anymore, I sourced a donor rear wheel from a dismantled bike. I threw the pair of them into the sandblaster to strip them down to the bone. This cleans off all the grime and defects, taking them right down to the bare aluminum.
Next, I hit them with epoxy primer and then a coat of dark gold. It covers up all the old filth and battle scars. Off to the baking booth they go to cure and hopefully restore a little bit of this bike's mana while we're at it. With these two tires mounted, all the parts are finally prepped and ready. Now comes the fun part. Let's put this beast back together. With the seat locked in, this restoration is officially complete. Now don't even bother offering me $10 a kilo for it. I'm not selling. Why? Because this isn't just a bike, it's a legend. They say, jets in the sky, R1s on the ground. That's right, this is the OG, the first generation Yamaha R1, the one with the iconic 5-valve engine. And the best part? She starts up like a dream. The power on this thing is going to be absolutely wicked. Come on, let's take her out for a spin right now. Looks like my fate isn't tough enough to handle this thing. I need to go find someone with a stronger destiny to tame this beast. And with that, the restoration of this 246 Gen, 123 kilogram, first-gen Yamaha R1 is officially a wrap. That saying, jets in the sky, R1s on the ground, it is absolutely no joke. The aggression on this thing is savage. It's just too fierce. Honestly, you need a destiny made of reinforced steel to handle a machine like this. As for me, I'm tapping out. It's out of my league. Thank you for your help. I wish you good health and good fortune. Now I'm heading back to the garage to fix some cars.